Hey everybody, welcome to Dubstock Live, brought to you by FitAid. I think we just saw one of the best wins of the season. The Warriors can put it in that pile. Shorthanded, second night of a back-to-back. And like I just asked Steve about this. In previous games like that, maybe your guys would compete really hard, but they just didn't put it together. Tonight, they did. What stood out to you?
I'm going to be honest. I thought, watching this game, I thought, you know what? Even if they don't win this game, this will be like a moral victory game because they were outmanned early. I mean, you could see they were the scrappy little underdogs. They were underdogs before the game. So they were 4-point underdogs.
They're 4-point dogs, yeah.
And so, but Utah is so huge.
Yeah.
I mean, Olenek 6'11" and Kessler 6'7" and Markkanen 7 feet and Vanderbilt 6'9". You look at all these guys, and those drives to the hoop weren't going anywhere, and they were blocking shots. And I thought, and they were shooting threes. I mean, if the Warriors make this a game, that's a pretty good sign. Mm-hmm. And then, they took the lead with 5 minutes to go and never gave it up.
Yeah.
This really, I thought, was a game about character, about perseverance, and they never showed any sign of surrender, even though they were getting battered around a little bit, and they could have because Utah's so big. They didn't even show much frustration. They just kept playing.
Yeah.
They kept playing, and and next thing you know, they had the lead, and once they had the lead, it was like, oh my goodness, okay. Mm-hmm. And they just didn't give it up. So it was impressive, I thought.
Yeah, the Warriors stayed relentless. I especially noticed this in the fast break points. 23 for the Warriors, 2 for the Jazz. So to me, the Warriors always stayed engaged. They were always looking for next shot, playing at the pace that they wanted to play. So the Jazz had the biggest lead of the game for them was 12. But kind of looking at the scoreboard, it's like, all right, the Warriors were never out of reach, really. They were down 7, down 6, and then they made that comeback in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. Utah couldn't quite put them away. Mm-hmm. And I like the way, I think Dante DiVincenzo was saying after the game, he said, we kept coming. They weren't going away. Yeah. And, they kept coming, and, and we kept coming, and we didn't let it go. And so when you look at the way this game played out, they stayed just close enough to stay close until they got their bearings together and found a way. And the fourth quarter defense was just incredible. Mm-hmm. I mean, they held Utah to 16% shooting in the fourth quarter. Draymond was a monster.
I'm sorry, 16%?
16%. 4 shots. They took 25 shots. They made 4.
He noticed that in the press room, and he stunned all of the reporters with that observation that the Jazz only made 4 field goals in the fourth quarter.
In the whole fourth quarter. I mean, so, that's how you overtake a team. Yeah. That's how you come back. Yeah. And Draymond was out there just doing all kinds of crazy Draymond things on defense. Yep. But all the guys fought hard on defense. I mean, whether it was Dante or JP or Ty Jerome, Patrick Baldwin Jr., Anthony Lamb, whoever was out there was scrapped. They were into it. There was nobody you thought, this guy is not really playing as well as he should. They were all playing hard, and it's like they just never gave up. And it's one of those games where you walk out and you're thinking, okay. These guys have some grit to them, and there were parts of this season when you wondered how much grit they have. Yeah. Tonight, they showed a lot of grit.
I like that the grit word is coming back. All right, so the Warriors are 3-0 on this homestand. They brought their record back up to 500. They are 18-18, and you mentioned Patrick Baldwin Jr. He was a very important spark off the bench, and he spoke post-game. Let's hear from him.
Back-to-back pro games with pretty solid production. It's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, it definitely feels good just to get a rhythm. And, I think as a team, when we're at home, we just get a rhythm. So it's nice to build off that.
Steve said that you were practicing in Santa Cruz today. I mean, were you surprised to come back for tonight's game? And what was that whirlwind of going from a practice to getting here like an hour before tip-off?
Yeah, so I had woke up this morning about 9, headed over to Santa Cruz, had a practice at, I want to say 2 o'clock. And then got out of practice at 3:30, and then we got a text about, some possibilities of some guys being out tonight. So then quickly they just put us in a car, drove us up to the bay, and got here at about 6. And then, it's just been a crazy last 4 hours, and you just got to stay ready.
I mean, you probably were pretty gassed from practice, right?
Yeah, that second win definitely helps, but I just love to play basketball, and anytime you play basketball, I'm not really that tired.
Patrick, what's your go-to snack for a car ride like that? Because you probably had to go from no lunch to straight here, maybe not have any proper dinner.
It's now a PBJ sandwich.
Okay.
So I just had my first one the other day.
Your first one the other day?
First one the other day.
Ever?
Ever. Yeah, ever.
What did your mom make you for lunch in grade school?
Hey, man, I'm going over here. I'm on a roll. Keep going.
Turkey sandwiches, cream cheese bagels, anything except a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know. I definitely missed out.
I mean, how good did you just? Kaminga gets into foul trouble. Your name gets called. You hit like 2 threes, I think, right close to back to back. I mean, how good did your shot feel today?
Yeah, it felt good today. Was able to get a good warm up in a good 30 minutes, and it felt good in warm ups. And I mean, when you check in the game and Draymond's telling you let it fly, you let it fly. So it's just great confidence, and you just got to stay ready.
When you're watching the game from the bench there before you get called, what are you seeing? And then were you surprised when the call came for you?
Yeah, kind of like I said, it was a wild last 4 hours, and I didn't really know what to expect. But, I kind of felt that, JK was kind of getting in foul trouble, and, we had a short bench. But, JK played a hell of a game. But when your number's called, you just got to be ready to step in and make an impact.
Yeah, Patrick, how big was that Brooklyn game just for your confidence? Just knowing you can go into a game, hit 5 threes like that. As a rookie, do you just feel like, that maybe helped you turn your confidence or anything like that?
Yeah, I think that Brooklyn third quarter as a whole for us helped us turn a corner a bit. We really started competing, even though the score was, wildly out of control, I think. We turned the corner as a team, and you're seeing it through this home stretch and from the Grizzlies game all the way tonight. But personally, confidence is, never an issue. I like to shoot, so I'm gonna let it fly.
I'm sorry, man. I just want to follow up on the peanut butter, circle back on that.
Yeah.
What inspired you to try the peanut butter sandwich?
I believe we'll see in a few days what it was, but it was a fun project we worked on, and I got to try my first one, and I think it'll come out in a couple weeks. Yeah. You'll see it soon.
And when was that?
It was shot, I want to say a week ago. A week ago, yeah.
Okay.
Your mom didn't name you turkey.
I did have one. I had two today.
All right, the PBJ report with PBJ. Okay, now the important part in that is that he was, just to recap, driving down to Santa Cruz. He thought he was going to practice today.
He practiced down
right?
there. Yeah.
And then he came and played how many minutes? How many minutes tonight? More than 12, 13 minutes,
yeah.
But he played a big role. Steve Kerr also said that PBJ will probably go back to Santa Cruz tomorrow and then come back for Friday's game. So, okay, this is an interesting stretch for the rookie, but this is what rookies can do, and they have very young bodies.
Yeah, he had played 9 previous NBA games, but in none of those games did his minutes matter. It was in a blowout one way or the other. The Brooklyn game, they were blown out, and so he got a good run in that game because the Warriors were never in that game. So today was a different for him because he came in the second quarter of the game, and he came in. The Warriors were down 9 when he came in, and by halftime he had helped shaved off most of that deficit. So I just thought this was the first time he played meaningful minutes in a game that mattered, where his contributions were needed, and he did so well in that first half. So and then when JK got in foul trouble again in the second half, okay, come on, Patrick, give us some more. And he hit another 3, and so a guy makes 3 threes in a game that's like this, that's tight, and for the first time he's been in a game like this, I thought, he was plus 13. That was the best on the team.
He didn't look lost out there.
No,
he didn't come in and make rookie mistakes, or I'm so excited to play, or I know I need to play so good right now. No, he looked great. And you know that the Warriors use Santa Cruz as a way to keep guys in rhythm to help them out like this.
Yeah, they run some of the same offense down there. They use some of the same defensive tactics. So it's a very similar program, and so that when the guys come back up here, the idea is to make it as seamless as possible. And the thing about Patrick Baldwin Jr. too is, his father's a coach and coached him in college actually. And so when you grow up with a coach, with a dad who's a coach, you kind of have a head start, know. And there's a sense when you go on the court, it's like you're in your environment. This is where you grew up. You've been dribbling a basketball since you were 3 or 4 years old, and you never stopped. And he just turned 20 this year, so last month, in fact. So you look at where he is now, and I think he's played 9 G League games. He's played in 9 NBA games before today. And this is the first time where you look at him, you go, okay, I can see why the Warriors really like this guy.
Yes.
I mean, I heard such positive things about him in training camp. And even before this training camp started, when he was working out with the team over the summer, people said, oh, no, we think he's going to be good. And I was told by a couple of people that he might get some minutes this year. We thought when we drafted him, he might be going straight to the G League and stay down there. But, he could get some NBA minutes this year as a rookie, and you're seeing it, and tonight you saw why.
The Warriors give their rookies a soft landing. They don't have to jump in right away. Remember, Lauri Markkanen actually had to do that right away with the Bulls. That's tough. Now, some players, if you ask them, do you want to play? They'll say yeah.
Yeah,
but would
of
you
course.
rather wait on a
play.
good team? Let yourself develop when you're 20 years old.
Yeah.
Make your mistakes in practice where nobody can see it, and then end up a champion?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think PBJ is advanced in relation to a lot of guys because of his background. And so therefore you see his composure. He takes the court and he's not in a rush. He doesn't look frantic about anything. He's just doing what he's been doing for a long time and just on a different stage. And so tonight to see him come in, once he hit that first shot, I thought, okay, he's probably going to be okay. And he was better than okay because I think he had 4 rebounds. So he just got into the action and fit right in. So with the Warriors being where they are right now, Wiggins is doubtful for Friday. We know Stephen Curry won't be out. We're going to be out for at least another 2 or 3 weeks. Clay will be back on Friday because he was out tonight because of the back-to-back. But you do need bodies. And against this Utah team, Baldwin at 6'10", that was important. Because this Utah's front line, you're talking about 7'1", and they're all between 6'9" and 7'1". And the Warriors, you're looking at Looney at 6'9", and Draymond at 6'6", Lamb at 6'6", and it's like at one point, the biggest guys on the court for the Warriors were 3 6'6" guys. So Baldwin goes out there and he's 6'9", 6'10", and he can shoot the 3 too, so he can stretch the floor at his height. They look at him as a possible stretch 4. I don't know. I mean, he's still kind of lean for that. But if he can shoot like that, it'll work. Yeah,
plenty of potential to get minutes here. I think you can also see his head start in some of his media training. Great on the podium, and he revealed, I cannot believe this, that he hadn't tried a peanut butter and jelly sandwich until age 20. All right, when we come back on Dubstock Live, brought to you by FitAid, we are going to show you a sneak peek of the Andrew Wiggins bobblehead that's coming out on January 4th. We're also going to give you an Andrew Wiggins update. Do stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by FitAid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
All right, we are back on YouTube. Vince Vargas wants to know, crunchy or creamy? What's your peanut butter? Listen, I'll tell you, I grew up crunchy. In my adulthood, I like creamy.
I would go creamy.
Yeah?
I've been creamy all the way. I don't know what.
That's a quote.
Do with that what you will.
Sure.
I don't know. I mean, how a guy whose initials are PBJ has not had a PBJ in his whole life.
The Warriors have them on the plane. Okay, you can get white, you can get wheat, you can get crunchy, you can get creamy, you can get like strawberry jam or grape jam. He's never just grabbed one on his way out. What are you doing, my guy?
But this was part of a program they're doing, some sort of a promotion they're doing, maybe one of those scoreboard things that they do. But somehow that was him getting a PB&J sandwich was part of the deal. And so it was the first one in his life. And that's what he had as a snack today between practice and coming to Chase Center.
Yeah, 2 sandwiches on the way to the game so he could have some calories in him to play. Listen, maybe there's a conspiracy here. Maybe he's trying to tell us with his eyes that he hates this nickname. But he has no choice, unfortunately. I don't know. Unless he says something, we can keep
he could have said he could have said I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but no, he said
PBJ.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
he knows.
Okay.
Lean into your brand.
Yeah, why not, man? It may be his brand at some point, really,
yes,
you know?
I think that would be funny. Thank you all for joining us.
I can see those advertising dollars right now.
I know. Why? Get
it's
your
natural.
opportunities, kid.
It's
That's
a natural.
Oh. This is a cool bobblehead. The other one broke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Damn.
Welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. All right, on January 4th, that's the Warriors game against the Pistons. The first 10,000 Warriors fans in the door get the Andrew Wiggins bobblehead. Can you see this okay? Maybe I can see if I can put it up a little bit closer. If you recognize this, this is the dunk, okay, from Game 3 in the Western Conference Finals. This is when Wiggins dunked over Luka Doncic and put him on a poster. I think that's a pretty good likeness.
All you need is Luka there. That's all you need is Luka there.
I know. We could just put a little paper cutout of Luka. Luka had a monster game yesterday.
Wiggs doesn't comb his hair, and neither does his bobblehead.
There you go.
No
so
comb,
get
no
one
brush.
Of these.
All natural.
Definitely a collectible. We were looking up whether this was Wiggins' first bobblehead of his career. It was not. He definitely got one while he was in Minnesota. I mean, that kind of happens when you're the #1 pick in a draft. But this is his first one with the Warriors. I want to hang on to this one. Yeah, I dig it.
Oh, you.
Okay, all right, let's go. Oh, okay, dibs. There was a Wiggins update. So Steve Kerr said before the game that Wiggins was in the building. Remember that he's coming off an illness. He has been cleared to play, but he's been sick. So he got a workout in today. I think Klay Thompson was in the gym as well. Steve Kerr said that Wiggins is doubtful for Friday's game, just as he gets his legs under him with this illness.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he's now missed, I think, 11 games.
That's
I think
a lot.
it's 11. And so, it's, more than 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. So you look at that and the fact that, he couldn't practice for a while because his injury was a adductor or groin injury, and there's not a whole lot you can do about that. You got to let it heal. And so you add that time he took off there, and now as soon as he gets cleared from that, he gets an illness, a non-COVID illness. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, you can't expect his condition to be where it needs to be for him to go out there and play 35 minutes. He might be on a minutes restriction whenever he does come back.
Yeah, Steve Kerr really likes to give players who are coming back from an extended injury like this groin strain a practice. The thing is, the Warriors' schedule doesn't really allow them to practice a lot.
Right. I mean, they'll have, on this homestand, they will have some chances to do that. Mm-hmm. They've got 5 more games on the homestand, I think.
Yes.
And so, and they'll be around for another, 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So they do have some opportunities to do some of that while they're here. Almost 2 weeks. So I think they'll have a chance to do that. So, but I think for Wiggs, it may be another week before he's good. And even if he plays Friday, which again is doubtful. But I would say not until next week sometime will you can say, okay, now he looks like his conditioning.
No, wait a minute, okay? January 4th, Wiggins.
By then? That's a week from now.
You gotta play on your bobblehead night.
I'm gonna say he will.
I would think so too. If he's getting workouts in right now, which Steve Kerr said he was pregame, I think that's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, I think you see him.
All right, let's talk about these two-way players because Anthony Lamb and Ty Jerome have been coming through for the team at different spots, sometimes in the same game. This was a Ty Jerome game. When Steph Curry isn't playing, they need a backup point guard. They need a ball handler here. They're also getting a shooter. 17 points off the bench for Ty Jerome.
And that three.
Yep.
The Warriors didn't have a lead in the second quarter, in the third quarter, and they didn't have one until Ty. He hit that three like, this is what I do.
He did. He definitely stroked it with a little attitude.
He hit it, and he just kind of backed up
he did.
and
he looked right at the bench.
Yeah. It was 104, 101. It's like, okay.
Okay.
And from that point on, it was like, okay, I think even the team got a lift off of that. It's like, okay, we got this. We can do this. And the rest of the game, they did exactly that. The defense was phenomenal, but seeing Ty go out there and just fill in minutes, he had a couple of silly fouls in the first half. I think when you're playing a team that's much bigger than you, it lends itself to fouling because you're kind of desperate. You're undersized. And undersized players often have to do stuff to try and offset the disadvantage. And I think that Ty got caught up in a couple of times. But that shot that he dropped in the fourth quarter there to put the Warriors ahead for good was like, okay, I'm good. And this is why you're seeing the two-way guys. They're getting minutes at crunch time because they are trusted.
Yeah.
And that goes back to them being in 4 years in college, and in Ty Jerome's case, high-level college, Virginia.
Won a championship.
So he's comfortable in big moments. Jordan Poole, obviously, he didn't spend 4 years in college, but he's comfortable in big moments, you know. So when you have young guys that can do that, you have more faith in that than you do in guys like Kuminga and Moody and Wiseman, because strength, and Kuminga didn't have any college at all, and Wiseman had 3 games of college. That was it. So Moody had 1 year. So I think that experience that they've had gives them a sense of belonging on the floor, and they're less likely to make a mistake or maybe do something that doesn't fit with what the team is trying to do. They know how to get in where they fit in, and it makes a difference.
I love that expression. Yeah, I was looking at the end of the game, and it's a bunch of young guys and then Draymond to finish this game. But yeah, the young guys, this is a product of them gelling, maybe settling into some roles or getting some more minutes. And the result is one of the best wins of the season. All right, when Dubs Talk Live, presented by Fit Aid, returns, we're going to look ahead at the schedule. We want to see if the Warriors can keep things rolling. They're 3-0 on this homestand, 5 games left, and there's some interesting developments for their opponents, Monte. Let's talk about it. We'll be right back. Take a sip of your Fit Aid while we're gone.
Dubs Talk Live is presented by Fit Aid, the #1 post-workout recovery drink in America. Try now and visit drinkfitaid.com.
Talk about the schedule. Let's talk about the Blazers in GP2. I think he's a maybe. They've been kind of not sure if he's going to play or not. The ejections.
Watch out, here's a guy trying to steal something.
Hi there. The ejections for the Pistons and Magic, and then Booker being out 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's touch on those.
That's
How
at
you
the
doing,
end of
Raymond?
the road.
Hey.
At the end of the homestand.
Whitney gave us one of these. These are great. It's a nice likeness.
I said, hair is uncombed just like Andrew's.
Yeah, there you go.
he gets up like he wakes up, and that's it. This is me.
His eyes are too wide.
All right, Asher is asking, when we talk about injured players, no one even bothers to mention Iggy anymore. Is he injured? Is he just not into it? Okay. When the new year comes in 2023, I want to be the first one to ask Steve Kerr, yet again, when is Andre Iguodala playing?
Where are we?
And what Steve has said so far is that they're looking at the back half of the season.
Yeah.
Andre only played 31 games last season, and I think there had to be, for him to return, there had to be some sort of negotiation about expectations. I don't think the Warriors expected him to play a lot.
Right.
I do think he will play.
Yes.
Otherwise, I think he just would have tipped into retirement if his body wouldn't have let him.
Yeah.
So the Warriors are still waiting. We only have about 20 seconds.
Yeah. I saw him today. He actually worked out before the game.
Yeah.
On the court, and he worked up a good sweat. So maybe he's close. I don't know. But even when he does, he is cleared to play. He's not going to play heavy minutes.
Yeah.
So, but you want to get him out there before you get to the postseason.
Yeah. Okay. That was a question lots of people asked from my mailbag. I'll answer that one soon. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by Fit Aid. All right, so the Warriors 3-0 on this homestand, 15-2 overall. It's been fun to see how many fans are here with their families, whether it's that holiday break bringing them out to games.
Yeah.
With a 15-2 record, at this point, you're nearly guaranteed a win at Chase Center, which has to feel pretty great when you're spending your hard-earned money on those tickets.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of, the way the road has been for the Warriors, they have to do this,
Yeah.
I mean, until they get their act together on the road, which I think they will. I mean, but think about it, though. I mean, they played a bunch of back-to-backs already, and when you play a back-to-back, you're going to lose Clay and maybe somebody else.
Yeah.
In some cases, they lost Clay, Draymond, and Steph off, so that's going to be part of the issue. I think as the season goes on, at some point, Clay's going to be able to play 2 back-to-back games.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. And at some point, I mean, obviously Steph's going to return sometime next month, we presume. So these things, there's still a lot of season to go. There's almost 50 games left. And when the Warriors conclude this homestand, it's the I think exact halfway point of the season. They'll be at 41 games, I think.
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
So, yeah, that will be at the time the second half of the season begins.
Second half of the season.
Yeah, and so right after that Suns game, I think it is. So it's going to be a situation where if you're the Warriors, you just want to get whole. Mm-hmm. And they haven't been whole for a while. Since Steph went out, and that's why every win they can get with him out bolsters the confidence of this team, because they all know he's going to come back at some point. Mm-hmm. And when he comes back, it's going to change some things and going to make them better, obviously. So right now, a win like this just does wonders, I think, for the young guys on this team, because the last two wins, I mean, it was JP and JK that finished up the game last night with their fourth quarter. In the last 5 minutes, they took over. And then tonight, you got everybody kind of pitching in, and Draymond playing some just superb defense, and it was enough. So this is good. These last two nights have been really good for this team's psyche.
Yeah, well, the momentum started with that Christmas game, which was also one of the best games of the season for the Warriors. All right, so what is next? The next 5 games at home, the Blazers, that's on Friday. Then you have the Hawks, the Pistons, the Magic, and the Suns. That game against the Blazers to be determined if we'll see GP2. How might you feel about that if you...
I mean, I love watching him play.
Yeah, I do too. But he hasn't at all this season.
Yeah, I know. I love his story. I know the family, his dad, and I knew his grandfather, his grandmother, his uncles.
Oakland.
Yeah, I knew all of them. Yeah, and I know all of them. So watching him last year be such a big part of what this team was able to do, I thought he deserved that because he fought so hard to stay in the NBA, and he traveled around the G League here, the G League there, back and forth. And finally, he's stuck. Yeah. And then he had the 1 year here, and that gave him a launching pad to a nice fat contract from Portland.
Right.
And he has yet to play because he's had some sort of abdominal issue that's been nagging at him. But he's getting closer, and yeah, I'd love to see him play.
He got 3 years, I think 25, 28 million. Yeah. So good. He got that bag. The Warriors just couldn't pay him that way. Of course,
well, they could have, but it would have cost him like $85 million.
Yeah, there's a luxury tax, repeater tax. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, hey, final note: the Warriors end this homestand against the Suns, and we just learned that Devin Booker is out for 4 weeks with a groin strain. So again, these groin strains are serious. But if the Warriors are looking at the rest of the schedule and they feel like they're building something, they've got to be encouraged. Yeah, I mean, 4 weeks, that's a decent time. That's close to what Andrew's looking at, And so, but the Suns, I think the Warriors have the Suns' number for the most part. I love to see Booker play, but he ain't going to play in that game. I think the Warriors at this point, though, 5 games on this road, on this homestand, I think they're in good shape to win at least 4 of them, and maybe 5. Well, split 4. So Booker's out 4 weeks. 4 is what Klay told him, right? 4 rings. The only game of Klay Thompson's career where he's ever been ejected. I will never forget that.
Yeah, neither will Klay.
Yeah, neither will Klay. All right, we hope Klay's doing well. He got a workout in today as well. Thanks for watching Dubs Talk Live, brought to you by FitAid. YouTube. All right, we've got Raymond Ritter standing off to the side. Raymond, can we get your take on whether this was one of the best wins of the season?
Come on.
Absolutely. He says absolutely.
We're on YouTube now.
Do you want to come in?
Not really.
Come on, man. Okay. I would say Celtics win, Christmas win, tonight win. I might be missing one earlier in the season. Opening night? Yeah, every night was good.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at this was a win where you were underdogs again.
Yeah.
And for good reason. You had 3 All-Stars on the bench.
This is going to be a tough one, yeah.
So, and then the way the game unfolded early on, it's like, it just looked like Utah was just too giant. You weren't able to get much inside anything. But once you got them at your pace, which the defense did that.
Yeah.
And once the defense got the Warriors into their rhythm and flow, then, it's their game now, and Utah can't play fast like that.
No.
You got to set the pace for that team.
You saw that in the fast break points.
Yeah,
yep.
Yeah. If you're half court against that team, you're in trouble. And they were for the most of this game, they were in trouble that way. But in the fourth quarter, they broke it open because they played the defense was just hellacious.
Let's end this on a really nice note from Twyla, who says, will GP2 get his ring Friday? Yes, I believe he will. Yes, he will. Okay, that is a warm and fuzzy thought.
Yes.
Draymond Green is going to give it to him.
Ooh,
that hug.
Cool.
That hug is going to last a few seconds between those guys.
Say that might be a 2-minute hug right there.
Yeah, that's really nice. All right, keep that in mind for Friday, and we will see you guys Friday post-game as well. Take care.